Hello everyone, today in this video we'll be discussing the super important programs or the code snippets that are important from each module and what you can expect from the question paper, like based on the previous year paper's trends and the patterns. That all we'll be discussing. Just the programs are here and the code snippets, and I'll be telling you how do you get the logic of what the question they have asked and how to form the code snippet. Okay, so this folder, this file which I am referring with, this PDF can be found in the description. There is a link called as 6M PDFs, right? So if you click on that, there you will find a folder called super tricks. In that you will get this folder. Okay, I mean this file, web super important programs.pdf. Okay, so all the questions what I'm discussing are from the previous year papers. So let's get started with the first question. In module 1, the main thing is you need to know about the HTML structure, basic syntax, CSS and the lists. Okay, but in CSS, small code snippets are there, like the selectors ones and the ways you can include the CSS inside the HTML by using the inline, internal and external. So since I had discussed that in the theory part, I'm not including that here, but that's also important. And the codes which are like a bigger codes, that only I have included here, the large codes. Okay, so firstly you need to know the structure of HTML document. Okay, so this is the structure of HTML document. What you have to write is the doc type HTML and closing tag HTML after opening tag HTML. Okay, inside that you have to write about the head and the body. Inside that you can write whatever you want. Okay, like the title and the p tags. So this is the basic structure of HTML document, a very important question from exam point of view. Next we have lists. Okay, so in list, what are the three things you need to keep in mind? The li tag, list item, ul unordered list, and ol, which is the ordered list. So in this there is the code as well as the output related to that. There is ul here and there are li tags here. So you can see unordered list tags will be there, means it will be showing as the bullet points. Whereas in the ordered list, what will happen, here's a list items and here's another list item. Here's means two list items are there. Inside the second one there is another ordered list. So what happens is there is first list here. Inside that sub list is also there, and this also has some items. Like it will be ordered list, means it will be 1 to 3 in that format. Okay, and the second thing what you need to keep in mind is, like you can include the unordered list here as well. Okay, inside the ordered list you can use unordered list as well. So that's what about the list and the module 1. These two are the basic major important codes, so make sure you go through it and practice and write it. Okay, because whatever the codes are there, if you don't practice and write, it will be very hard for you to remember in the exam, even if it looks like it's easy. Okay, so make sure you practice and write. And from the module 2, this from the previous year question paper. So basically in the from the module 2, two things you need to keep in mind. You need to know you need to be very well thorough with the tables and the forms. Okay, so tables I will be discussing 2 codes, form I will be discussing 1 code. Okay, so in the table what you can expect is, like they'll be giving you an output like this and you'll be supposed to write the code for it. They'll be giving you an output like this and you are supposed to write the code snippet for it. So how do you write the code snippet for it? Basically what you can observe is, if they give the format like this is obviously the table. Okay, so in the table what you can use is the table td, tr, th, tbody, tfoot and thead. Okay, so what I recommend you is, first use table, then table row, inside the table data and table head. If you are very thorough with this, if you have mastered these elements, then only go for t-body, t-foot and t-head. Okay, so in the code given below I have not included the t-body, t-foot and t-head because it will become more complicated. But if you want, if you are experienced with these things, then you can add these things as well. Okay, so in the theory I have explained how to add these things in the code as well. So in this you can find that there is a table which has how many rows. First, that thing you have to find 1, 2, 3 and 4. 4 rows are there and 4 columns are there. Okay, 4 rows and 4 columns. So how do you approach this code is, firstly you will be writing a table tag. Okay, so the table tag will be looking like this. First you will be writing the table tag. So here you will write table. Okay, and the closing tag table. So that will create a table, and make sure you write border is equal to something 2, because that will ensure that there is a border around it. Otherwise if you don't include that, it will be an invisible table. Just the content will be displayed, the table borders will not be displayed. Okay, so make sure you have to write table border is equal to 2. So main thing start from here, from the body tag. Okay, from the body tag, the table border is equal to 2. This is the first thing what you have to write. Okay, then what you have to write is, if you can observe carefully, see here, there is in the first row, first what you will create, after creating a table you will create 4 rows. How many rows you will create? First you see that there are 4 rows, right? So here also you can see there are 4 rows. The table row is created and this is the first row, this and this is the second row, the third row, this is the fourth row. So 4 rows you have to create in between the tags tr and tr close. Just like this only you write in between what you have to write. That's a bit complicated, but in this example it's very simple, straightforward. But in the other ones where you have column span and row span, that are also the questions which are asked. So in that you have to keep in mind a few things. So let's get done with the basic first, then we will go to the row span and column span tags. Okay, so here are 4 rows defined, and in the 4 rows what you can see is the first row, whatever you mention in the inside the row, what you have to write is th means table header. So in the table head what you will be writing is SL number, USN, name and department one by one. So this is the first table row. Inside that you will write 4 headings, which is SL number, USN, name and department. Basically th it will work even if you write td, but it will not be shown in bold. Okay, even if you write here td like how I have written for the rest of the rows, it will show as same, but just it will not look like heading, it will look like normal text. Okay, that's all. What's the difference? So if you write td, maybe the marks will cut because they expect you to write SL number as heading, so there may be a marks for that. I'm not sure regarding that. Just one letter difference only, right? Just remember that and write th. Okay, so SL number will make sure that it will be the first here it will return SL number, then next it will be accessing this one, then next it will be accessing this one, then next it will be accessing this one. So name and department. So how many ever the elements you will be writing, that many columns will be formed. How many elements you will be writing here, that many columns will be formed. So in the first row, how many columns you define, that will be applicable for rest of the rows as well. So in the first row you define 4 columns, so 4 columns will be made in the table, and the table will have just the first row. In the second row what you can see is just one is written and rest all are empty, right? So what you have to write is, firstly you will be going here and writing the first data as, inserting the table data as 1, then the rest of the things you will just insert td and closing tag td. Okay, nothing you will write in between. Same thing goes for the second third row as well. In the third row, as you can see, it is just 2 and here it is empty, so we'll do the same thing, just write 2 and the rest of the things will be empty. And for the final row what you have is the total number of rows in the first column, and the second cell it is 2, and third and fourth cell it is just hyphen. So that's how you will write, and this ends the table code. So this is the basic table. Here the row span and the column span was not used. Okay, so pay attention to the next one. If you want the exact output, you need to pay very attention to the next code what I'm going to explain, because in that the row span and the column span you need to understand very carefully. It's very complicated and very means hard to understand. Okay, so let's get started. This is the final output which you have to get. First 5 minutes you spend and observe the this output itself. Okay, don't hurry. There will be plenty of time to write the codes, and you will be getting plenty of time to write the answers. Don't worry about that. I'll be telling you how to write the answers in a quick way to get the key points and all. I'll be explaining all that. But okay, but make sure that you understand what is the output you have been given with and how to write the code for it. Observation is very important, because if you don't observe carefully, you will not get the output. Like in the computer itself, if I had tried many 4-5 times, then only I got this correct output. Okay, so by seeing the Google itself I did and all, I got this so many errors, and then I got the correct output. If you write in the paper, it will neither show the error, neither show it is correct or not. Nothing will be shown. Just exactly you have to write whatever you know. Okay, so it's very important that you know the basic concept. So what is row span and what is column span? Row span means, if I have written a code here, okay, for this row what you can see is there is written Monday to Friday, then the next row is getting divided into 2. There is one row here, one row here. So as you can see, this cell is spanning 2 rows. Spanning 2 rows means capturing 2 rows. Okay, this row is capturing 2 rows. One row is this one row is this one. It is taking the place of 2 and sitting. Here also it is taking the place of 2 and sitting. This is also taking the place of 2 and sitting. That is known as row span. How many rows it is getting, it is capturing and sitting, that is known as the row span. What is column span? As you can see here in the column span, this cell is capturing 2 columns. First column, this is the first column, and this is the second column, right? This is the first column, this is the second column. This cell is capturing 2 columns and sitting. So that's what this capturing 2 columns. Those are the first observations you have to make. Okay, so in the last part of your answer booklet, there will be a rough page, right? Make use of that rough page and write whatever you can observe. Firstly, for each cell you have to tell me whether the row span is there or column span is there or none is there. Okay, first you have to tell me that, and then only proceed with the code. So here what you can tell, is there any row span or column span? Yes, column span is there. It's spanning 2 columns, so note it down somewhere. Here can you see something? See, this one is just one row. Okay, its content is more, that's why it is looking like 2 or 3 rows, but the content, what you can observe is it's just a single row. Here also one cell is there, one cell is there, one cell is there, but here you can see one cell is there, but here in the same line in between this the content is there, but here 2 rows are there. That means there is a row span, like that you have to identify. Okay, so this is one means column span is 2 because 2 columns it has spanned, and this is just the normal one, and this is also the normal one. Here row span is equal to 2 because this is spanning, this is spanning, and here also row span is 2, this is spanning, this is spanning, and here also the row span is 2, this is spanning, this is spanning, and this is column span is also 2. So this is one column, this is one column. Here both column and row span is there. Okay, after you have made this observation, you can proceed. First make the output border, which is the table. First you have to make the output border table by writing the table in between the angular bracket and closing the table tag. Okay, after I have written that, observe how many rows are there. This is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row. Outward the least number of rows, how many you can find out, that you have to see. Means if it is sub and f1, if that was written here, then that will be considered as this as separate row, this as separate row. Okay, so whatever is in the leftmost part, that you have to see. One row, second row, third row. Just keep in mind there are how many rows? 3 rows are there. Okay, how many rows are there? 3 rows are there. That's the key point you have to keep in mind. After you have got to know how many rows are there, just design the output. Okay, means just design the outlook of how the code looks like. It's not like you will just start writing and finally you will end like a robot. Okay, it's not possible. Firstly you have to make a design, again you have to see what are the things included, again you have to include few things, again you have to make the corrections. Like that many iterations will be there. Okay, don't write the final answer script in the same place itself. Okay, start from the last page, make use of that last page. In that you draw whatever you want, however you want, but make sure you draw it correctly and you should be able to understand what you are drawing. Okay, then only final output, after you are confirmed this is what the best I can do, then only you have to write in the answer script. Don't first write in the answer script. Don't make that mistake. It's very hard that in the first trial only you will get the correct answer. We are not top-notch JavaScript developers and all, right? You cannot do that. Okay, so you have to make the design first. In the design you will be writing the table, and the table will be closing tag. There will be one row here, second row as I told you, and there will be a third row. That's all. Okay, so actually there is a row span as well, so there are many rows, but you need not worry about that. I'll tell you how to after classify it further. Okay, but for now you have to keep in mind there are just 3 rows. Okay, now 3 rows are there, right? So you'll be starting from the top left. Where you will be starting from? The top left. Where is the top left? Top left is this one. Okay, when you have started from here, you will be inserting this as a table header. Okay, so here's the first row. In the first row you will write column span is equal to 2 because that cell is spanning how many columns? 2 columns. So you'll write column span is equal to 2 and you will write time day. Okay, then you will again write the next header, time you will write, then next header, this time you will write. Since there was no column span nor the row span for the rest 2 of the cells, I have not written anything. Just normally you will write what it is, table header, right? So here column span was 2, so I wrote like that, then this one, then this one. Your next step is to write this one. Here what you can see, row span is equal to 2, right? So here you will be writing row span is equal to 2. The next row you will start, inside the next row the first td. Okay, means in the subsequent rows you will write td instead of th. There you will write row span is equal to 2 Monday to Friday, and this one. Then what is the next thing? See, next how you will be approached. Here the main point comes. Okay, here is one element present, and then the next element is this one, then the next element is this one, then the next element is this one. The first row is this one. Okay, this is the first row. Okay, after that row is over, the next row is starting from here. Okay, the next row will be this one, and after that the next row will be this one. Okay, like it will be in this format. Okay, it will be in this format, and the next row will just be having one element. So in that way the rows are from left to right, and wherever the span is happening, the top row will be taken as the first row, and the second row will start from after the span element. After the span element the next row will start, and next row will be like this, and whatever the span element comes, that will be captured totally, and after that whatever is remaining in the next row, and that will be taken. Okay, so in that way you have to insert the elements. So where we have done this row, we have written this row here, and yeah, that is done. The next row, as you can observe, it's spanning 2 rows. The first cell is spanning 2 rows, so beside that I will be writing td, and just by closing that, and this is the second row. Okay, this is the second row. In that the first row has td and row span is equal to 2 I will write, and after that you have the sub theory ml wta lab. Okay, So sub theory ml wtlf, this will be shown. Then what is the next row is f1 abc and ad block. Okay, so f1, the next row I'll start here. In the next row I'll write f1 abc and ad block. Okay, that's the third row. And the next row will be this one, sat, sub and extracurricular activity. Here you have to write row span is equal to 2, and here also you have to write row span is equal to 2, along with that column span is equal to 2. So the first and the third element will have row and column span. So here the next row is, the first row will have Saturday and the row span is equal to 2, then just sub will be there, and the third element, which is extracurricular activity, here the row span is equal to 2 as well as the column span is equal to 2. After that, the last row is remaining just for the fi, and you will be creating a new row. You will be adding just one element, which is tdfi, and then table will be closing. So if you got any doubt, you can rewind and watch this part again, so to get a clear understanding. But that's how you write the row span and the column span. This is a bit complicated, so if you are very sure, then only go for this one. Otherwise, if there is an or question, go for that. But if there is a question regarding the table, just like the basic table, just you have to create the table, then rows, and insert the data, and then the columns, insert the data. It's very simple. Go for this one. And the next type is the forms. Okay, in the forms, what you can have is like this. Okay, this I have taken from the Take It Easy Engineers. So I don't know where it was, like in the previous year papers, or where it was, but it's good for understanding the basic structure and how do you form the means use the basic elements of form to write it. Okay, because here the select is used, and the input text input type is used, and here is the radio buttons used, and here's the date also used, here's the text area, here's the email used, submit button is there, and this whole form is inside the field list, and legend is also used. So many of the elements you'll get to know if you know this code. So I'll tell you how to remember this code and how do you insert the elements one by one, what should be a format, and how do you approach for this question. What all you can observe here, start from here. The personal details is mentioned, and it is within the box, right? The box is here, in between the box the personal details is written. So if you want this type of output, what you have to write is field set and legend. Field set and legend, these two things you have to write, field set and legend. So how do you write is, firstly you will create a form. That's the first basic step. The form code you will write here, and the closing form tag you will write. In between that you will write field set and legend. Okay, field set also will be till the last. Okay, the field set also will be till the last after the form, and between that, first thing what you have to write is the legend. So legend will ensure that it is written between the boxes. Okay, so in between the box it will be written, and the legend, closing tag legend, in between whatever you want you can write. Okay, after that, what you can observe here, the next thing is salutation. So just the text salutation should be displayed. Okay, here I have not used any name, value, or for wherever it is just required I have used. This is a basic format, at least you have to write this much. Okay, in top of that you can include id, value, and the name, and the decoration, and the borders. Those things you can write after this. Okay, means the basic thing you need to get to know. After that you can add the extra features. Okay, so after that you have the label. To display the text in the form, you have to include label. Okay, even if you use p tag also, it is fine, it will be showing the same output, but you may not get the marks because in the form it is a standard to use label instead of p. Fine, so that's what the salutation is written here, and that's the label. Okay, after you have label, you have to add a br because you are doing the next thing in the next row. If you don't add br, what will happen is all the things will be in the same row. That's why you have to add the break. Br means break. And after that, what you can see here, you can see as none, and there is a select menu here. So how do you add that thing is, you will be writing this code. This code will ensure that it will add like this. You have to write select, and in between select you will just close the select. Okay, so it will just add an empty table like this, not a table, empty thing like this. Okay, inside that if you click, there should be many options shown. So for each option we'll write option none. Whatever you have to show it as initial, you will show as none. Next option Mr., next option MS, and the third option is MRS. Okay, so in that way it will be shown here, and that was for select. And after that, what you can see is there is the label. See, now you have to observe carefully how the things is breaking down. Label is there, written as first name, and there is a text input. Then you have a br tag here, that's why it's in the second line. Again a label, again a text input. After that, again a label. There is a radio button. How you have to write radio button, that will be discussing. Again you have a label and text input email. Then you have a break tag here, then another label here, date of birth, and here input type is equal to date. After that you have breaking tag, then the label, again breaking tag. Here you have text area, then again breaking tag, and input type is equal to submit button. So that's the same things sequentially if you go. the first label is written here, so it will just show first name, like first name will be written. When you write input type is equal to text, this will be displayed. Then br tag is there, it will come to the next line. Again last name will be written here, input type is equal to text, this will be displayed. Again break tag, it will come here. Label is equal to gender will be displayed. Then you have radio. Okay, so how do you use radio button? You have to write this one, input type is equal to radio, so it will create a circle like this. Name is equal to where. Why we are using name in this case is, you have to if you have two radio buttons, I have defined two radio buttons, right? If I select this one and then select this one, this should be erased, right? This should be deselected. So how to deselect this is, you have to include these both in a same group. How do you include them in the same group? By naming them in the same way. Like if you name them both as where, this will be considered as a single radio button group, and this will be selected. If you select this one, this will be deselected and this only will be selected. That's the speciality of the radio button, right? One only should be selected in the same group. So that's why you have written name here. In the other places it's optional, if you want you can write, else you can skip. Here after writing this one, this will just create a circle here. After the circle you need to write what is the name of that radio button. So for that, just the text you will write mail. Again you will write here means the next radio button, since it's continuous as given in the question, I have not written here break tag. See, in the question only it is like continuous, right? It's not separated. So if it was separate, like in the second line, I would have written after mail, I would have written what, br tag. But since it was not there, I have not written. So it will continue, the radio button will be formed here after writing male. Again a radio button will be formed by this code, and female will be written here. Then break tag is there, so I have written break tag. Another break tag just for the next row. Like if you want, you can just write one break tag. And then we have label. Email, again email will be email will be written here. Input type is equal to email, it will be shown email here. Again break tag. Here date of birth will be written in label. Again okay, so there is just a date here, so you will just have date here. Okay, if you write input type is equal to date, it will show date here, date of birth, date. In between there is no break tag, so I have not written a break tag in between these both. Then what you have is the address, and in the address you will write the text area with the break tag, because address in the first line, then text area is there, so you have to write a break tag here. Then how many columns and the rows that you can specify, that much area text will be displayed, text area. And then again a break tag, and finally you have input type is equal to submit, that will show the submit button. Then field set close, form close. Okay, so that's the basic structure of how you use a form in the output. In the third module, the first thing what you have to focus upon is the DOM structure. Okay, in the DOM structure what you have is like the theory they can ask, so you have to make a structure like this, as well as you have to write the corresponding code for it. Okay, so if I give you the brief overview of this structure here, firstly you have to write the code. Remember a simple code. See here, what's the code here? There is a head here and there is a title. That's all. Don't write meta, just write title here. Then we have the body. Inside the body we have h1 p1, as you wish you can write. Okay, and make sure you write tag here. Inside that the nested tag should also be there, like that you have to write. Okay, so make sure you include this one, like you include h1 p div and article or image or a, like that you can use many. Fine. And whatever the nesting you have done, you have to explain it here, and make sure the nesting you have done in a way that you can explain child node, parent node, sibling node, nodes and document root. Okay, so more information for this I have explained in the theory video, you can go through that. Next we have the example of node and its attribute, text nodes, attribute node and text node. So this is optional topic. Here you have the element node, text node is there, and what is the attribute is with the tag what you write. Okay, like this is the tag here, a, before closing a what you write, that's the attribute, and between the opening a and closing a tag what you write, that's the text node. Okay, the next important question is write a PHP program to demonstrate session to store the page count view on the refresh. This same as the PHP program 6, I guess. Yeah, that's the 6th PHP program. So basically what we do is we have a PHP code here. In that code we'll print a refresh page like this, just a heading, it will print as refresh page. Then we have name, file and hits. These three things you have to initialize: name, file and hits. Name is whatever the name of the file is, and after that you will be opening that file. How do you open that file? F open that name in read mode, that you will open in file. Then hits is equal to fscanf file and %d. You will read the content. The content is stored in hits. Okay, hits means the page is the text counter.txt is this one, and it will have what is the page refresh count. Initially it will be 0, so that will be stored in hits. So f close file, if you will close the file. Then since you have run this code, you will do hits of 0 plus plus, means 0 will become 1. Okay, then what you have to do, again open the file, the same file, the name in write mode, and fprintf the file. Inside that file you are printing, means the content of the file you are altering. What you will alter is, you will write in that file %d hits of 0. Hits of 0 is 1, So instead of 0 it will become 1 in the counter.txt, and then you will be closing the file. Then you will be printing total number of views is equal to hits of 0, means whatever the views are there as of now it will be printed, means 1. Again if you open this file and means run this code again open the file, the hits of 0 is 1, that will be taken and that will be incremented, it will become 2, and again the file will be open in write mode and 2 will be written here and that will be displayed. So that's the session. It stores the page view count on refresh. Okay, as many times as you run this code, that many increments will happen, and that will be shown how many times you have viewed the page. Fine, that's the second important program. Then we have JavaScript code that displays VTU Belgavi with increasing font size in the intervals of 100 ms in blue color. When the font reaches 50 point, it should stop. This same as the lab program 3. So what you have to make the change is just that you have to remove the shrinking code. Like shrinking code was where after the if, right? This if grow else was there, right? Just remove that else. Okay, and instead of else, what you will be writing here here is just grow is equal to false. So if I have to go through the code here from the starting, first you will write grow is equal to true, because it is growing, it should be true. Then function fnts will be written. Fnt size is equal to document.getElementById p1 style.font size. Okay, the font size will be taken of p1. Okay, so p1 is not initialized, it will be initialized after the means after the script tag there is a script. Okay, let's start from the HTML itself. Here we have in the body onload function, means this function should be called PID is equal to p1, style is equal to this one, its size is 12 and color is blue, and VTU Belgavi is written. This is the p tag. Okay, this is the p tag which is taken into consideration, and this is then called. In this we are taking that element which is the VTU Belgavi infinity size. That size we are taking, not the VTU Belgavi text, but the size we are taking 12. Then document.getElementById style is equal to color is equal to blue. Already it is blue. Again we are setting it as blue here. Then if nt size, parse int fnt size, what is the size that will be passed into the integer value, and then timeout will be 100. Okay, why it is 100? Because in the question they have given interval of 100 ms. Okay, after we have taken that, we will be using this function fntgs. It will call fntgs, it will go here. Then if grow is true, so it will happen, means whatever is there it will happen. If is equal to ifs plus 1. Ifs is the size is getting passed from here, that is taken in ifs. Ifs is taken. What is int size? That is the parse int fnt size. So it is 12 is passed here, it will become 13. It will be checked if 13 is less than or equal to 50. If it is true, then I will be displaying that, means whatever is the initial size, I'll add pt to it, so it will increase the size, means I have incremented the ifs value, I have included that ifs value in the document. I am changing the inner document. Okay, if it is less than 50, I'll do this one, else I will make if it is crossing 50, I'll make grow as false. So in the next iteration again it will happen ifs plus 1, again this will happen, again it will happen till it will become 50. When it becomes 51, grow will become false, and that will not happen. When that does not happen, windows set timeout. This is for the rest means the general code. It is not depending on if else condition. This will run every time. 100 ms will stop, again it will run, like that it is. Okay, so that's all basically what the code is, and this is how you change the program from lab program 3 through what they have asked in the question paper. Okay, so the next question is write a PHP program to greet the user based on time. It's very simple, just have to use if else condition. You will use dat. In the dat variable only will store new date time, the current date time of Asia Kolkata, that you will be storing, and date will be equal to dat format hour. You are taking the r of it. R will be stored in date. Date will have what? R. Okay, if r is less than 12, echo good morning. If r is less than 17, echo good afternoon. Else if r is less than 20, good evening to everyone, else good night. Fine, like that how you will be writing the PHP program. Okay, to use greet the user based on time. Coming to module 4, the important one is the get and post. This already I have discussed in the theory, so make sure you go through it. It's very important code. Get and post. Here's the post. So what are the codes you have to write, and what is the arrays you have used, what are the names. So since I have explained this in very depth in the theory part, I am not explaining this again here. Okay, you can go to that. Then files, reading and writing, this also I have explained, very important. So just for your revision, I have included this code here. This is the file how you will specify, and this is the files array. To access different things, you will be using different names here. And HTML, how do you restrict the file size? This is also important. This also I have explained. JavaScript, how to do that in JavaScript PHP. So if you have gone through the theory, if you want to revise the programs, you can go through this PDF quickly. So that's why I included this here. Then you have PHP stream access reading file. This also I have explained. In memory access reading file, the PHP code, static data members code snippet. Like how do you define a class? So what was it given is like they can give you write a code for the static data members initialization in PHP. Static data members, if they give, you have tried this one. You'll use a static as well, count, and for that you'll write self here. The main thing is you'll write this static here and the self here. That's a very important concept. Okay. Then here's a program from the previous question paper. This I'll explain. So here what you have, write a PHP program to create a student class with the following specification. Data member should be name, roll number, average marks. Member function should be getter function and setter function. Use the above specification to read and print the information of two students. So here's a PHP class student, private, name, USN, address and average. And here's a constructor in which n, USN, add and average is passed. This dot name, this dot USN, address and average is specified accordingly. And we have two functions, which is getter function and setter function. Get name, get USN, set name, set USN. For the set you have to pass the parameters as well. So full name is passed, USN is passed. So getter means getting the value, so return the specific value. If it's name, return name. If it is USN, return USN. Then for the setter you will be setting the specific thing. So name is getting set, so this arrow name is equal to full name, this arrow USN is equal to USN. What is these two, USN and name, that I've specified here, right? That's the data members, USN and name. So that is getting modified. That's what the setter is, modifying the thing. After you have initialized this one, the class is over. You have to store and retrieve the information of two students. So S1 is the first student and second student information is not given here, I guess. So you can add it in the same way. So what you can do is new student, you have can create like this, another code you can write, and S1 is equal to set name, average. Then you can output the name and get the name and the USN in these two variables, and then you can echo the name as well. Again write the same code with the different names and the USN. You can get the for the two students that they have asked in the question. Okay, that's what about the classes. And the next one is the validate the phone number. I guess this is the last one in the module 4. Write the PHP code to validate a phone number. So you'll write PHP and PHP here. Inside that the function validate number, and you'll be passing a phone number here. So if inside that you'll just write one if else condition. If this is important, okay, preg match, okay, preg underscore match, and here you'll be writing the regular expression. So what's the regular expression? It is starting from 0 to 9. It should repeat 3 times. Hyphen should come 0 to 9 any number 3 times it should repeat. Hyphen 0 to 9 4 times it should repeat. And dollar means ending. So if this is matching in the phone number is valid, else it's not valid. Okay. Coming to module 5, the important ones are cookies, reading and writing. This I have already explained in theory. Then we have the XML code and its DTD. Okay, so this one I'll explain. This is important. Okay, so here what's happening is how to write the DTD. Okay, the first thing what you have to write the DTD is this same thing you have to write. That's the first step. What's the first step? You have to write the same first line in the answer script as well. Okay, for writing DTD. After that you will write like this, doc type, all in caps, doc type. Okay, so I'll show you the code. I have written the code as well. So doc type, and what is the name of the XML main thing? Art, right? So you'll write art. So see here, XML code, this is the first line you will write. After that doc type art, then you will open a square bracket and close the square bracket at the end. Inside that you will write everything. Okay, so I'll directly discuss the question papers question, so that will be more better for you. So like this from the notes. Okay, the question paper what they have asked is the same thing, but in a just for one element they have asked. Okay, so I'll explain that. That will be more clear for you. Before that we have the XML processing in JavaScript. This is also explained, don't miss it. XML processing in PHP, JSON processing in JavaScript, JSON processing in PHP, AJAX get method. This also explained, AJAX post method. So make sure you never miss each of these codes. Very important codes. Write and practice 3 times. Okay. Then this is the question paper question. This is the last question from module 5, and we'll be discussing that and winding up the video. Okay. So see here, if they ask the DTD, you can get it for 8 marks. So don't miss it. Okay. Very simple. So first line you have to write the same what they have given here. Same line you will write here. After that what is there? Doc type is there. So you'll write art, and it is the main element is art. So you'll write art and open a square bracket. Okay. After that inside there what you can find? Painting, title, artist, year and medium. 4 things you can find: painting, title, artist and year, medium. Okay. Painting ID is compulsory for so for that you will write element. How many elements are there? 4 elements are there, so you will write 4 things: painting, title, artist, year and medium. The inner things are the nested ones. Okay, that will go in depth later, but the outer things are 4 things: document means element, art, painting, title, artist, year and medium. Okay, so how we'll approach this is, first you will write element, art, inside that painting star. Whatever you find first here, that you will write as painting ID is equal to 290. So here you have art, the same name you will write, then painting star, the first element which you encounter, that element name star, then you will close the tag. After that, what you will write, again the element you will write painting. Inside the painting, what you have, title, artist, year and medium. Okay, title, artist, year and medium. So basically what's happening is, this is one painting. Okay, inside the painting these four things are there: title, artist, year and medium. So that's why we mentioned painting here as art, painting, star. Why we mentioned star? Because actually in the code there are many other paintings as well, so that's why we have mentioned star, but in this case you have to don't mention star. So this I just copied from the notes, so I've mentioned star here, but you have not include star, just painting, because one code is only asked, right? That's why I just write art painting. After written art painting, what does painting consist of? Element, painting, title, artist, year and medium. Okay, four things are there, just same format as you can observe here. Element, element, art, inside that art just one painting is there, don't write star, just write painting once. And after that, like same goes for painting as well. In painting, what are the things? Title, artist, year and medium, right? Title, artist, year and medium, four things are there: title, artist, year and medium. Now for title it's just one thing, attribute list, painting, see data required. So if it is required you'll write required, else you'll just write see data. Okay, and the next is the element title, PC data, element artist, there are two things, name and nationality, so you'll just write it as such. And then again element, year, PC data, year means element, medium, PC data, then you will close the tag here. Very simple, right? So if you go through it once, it will be very easy for you. And if you've got any doubt, ping me on Instagram, my ID is in the description box. So these are the super important programs. I'll include this PDF link in the description box, 6M PDFs, where you can find the super tricks folder. Inside that folder you can find this one. Okay, so if you like this video, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Your support helps me make more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.